Good afternoon. I had to look at the clock. Good afternoon. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Welcome to beautiful Gulfstream Park. Ron Nicoletti along with Keisha Courtney. And we're about to kick off our final week here at Gulfstream Park before we head over across town 8 miles west to Gulfstream Park West for our 2-month meeting or about 6-week meeting. And it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and this last week here should be a really exciting one. Don't forget we have the Florida Sire Stakes this Saturday. 13 races, 8 stakes. Post time for that day is at 12 noon. But today we have 11 exciting races on the card. Should be a fun one.
Yeah, one other thing about Saturday, mark this down, mandatory payouts if the Rainbow Six and everything and all these bets that we're going to talk about right now are not hit by Saturday. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Mandatory payouts in everything. Everything, as they say in sales, must go. Like the soup here. If it didn't go yesterday, it must go today. So
must go Saturday.
Thursday's first race is a 1-mile turf event, but before we do that, let's run through the wagering menu here. We're going to start it off with the Rolling Super High Five, $1,800 plus in that pool already.
Yeah, building up in there. Race number 1 also starts the early pick 5. That's just a 50-cent wager, and I'll have a ticket for you there.
And the Rainbow Six, it's getting up there, approaching $90,000, and that starts in race number 6. As Acacia mentioned at the top of the show, 11 races both today and tomorrow, at 13 on Saturday to end our summer stance here at beautiful Gulfstream Park. And then we end the day with a late pick 5. You also have a ticket there.
Late pick 5. My late pick 5 ticket came in on Sunday, so we'll see if we can get the momentum to continue going. Again, a 50-cent wager, and that starts race number 7. I'll have another ticket.
What was that payoff?
About $530.
There you go. You got to listen. She gives out some good tickets here. Now, the first race on Thursday, being today, 1 mile on the turf, maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $12,500. Scratch the number 4, Her Unmentionables. What a goofy name for a horse. We're going to show you the early pick 5 ticket right now.
Yes, the early pick 5 ticket starts right here. I thought a lot of competitive and tough races, a lot of evenly matched horses today. We say this pretty often. That's where you can really find some good value. So I went a little bit deeper in my early pick 5 ticket, $54 for me. I used the 1 Miss BVI and the 9 Zips Legacy, who I imagine will take the brunt of the money in here in the opener.
Yeah, and I think you have the logical 2 on the ticket. Let's start it off with the number 9 in here, and that is Zips Legacy, making the 3rd start of our current form cycle, turning back today to a mile after following her 3rd place finish, going 5 furlongs. Solid 2nd place finish against this level of competition, going a mile in the 16th. I'm looking down here, even money on the morning line. I don't know if I agree with that, but certainly the one to beat.
Well, very early in the wagering, she's about 6-5 right now. I used this horse on top, but look at the last 5 starts. She's been the favorite. She's burned quite a bit of money. She's a very solid runner. She's got some early speed as well. Tyler Gaffalione rode her in her last 2. He's actually going to be aboard the number 1 Miss BVI, which is where I landed as my top selection. I think that she's got some tactical speed and some ability coming from the rail. She really improved last time out when Tyler climbed aboard. She was beaten by just a nose, and I want to go back and show that performance. This was back on September 5th. Miss BVI was the number 6 there that day, and we're going to pick it up as she is surging, really, and it looks like she was going to be able to get there. First of all, it looked like she was going to have no running room. She's there with the blaze and the pink colors, and she manages to get through and is just beaten by a nose. And I think that was a very solid performance there. There she is again. You see her circled there. It looks like she's going to be a distant second. She surges once again. I thought it was a solid performance. I think she improves off of that. I like that Tyler's aboard once again.
Yeah, well, you're making my case there. I think this horse has just as much shot as the number 9 horse in there. That's what I was saying about the even money in there. But I think, as you did on your ticket, you have to use both, too. Now, I closed it out with the number 5 horse, It's All You, who's stretching out to a mile again after getting parked about 5 wide, produced a 5th place finish, was only beaten about 2.5 lengths in that race against Similar. That was going 7.5. I just think the added real estate is going to help this horse maybe grab a share of the exacta trifecta or something like that.
I agree. That's why I used that horse on there. I used the number 2, the Red Tour, in 3rd. This one's an 0-for-12 maiden, but she's dropping back to a level where she certainly looks to be more comfortable, and a notable jockey change to Matt Rispoli.
Well, let's go to race number 2 this afternoon. 7 furlongs claimers, 3 and up, non-winners of 3 races in life, or race since March 29th, or 3-year-olds. So one of these triple condition races, 6 runners in the field, and you went with the number 3 in here, Master Blender.
Oh, well, this one comes out of Stakes Company and is now first start in the barn of David Fox. Two back, she ran against he ran, against $62,000 optional claimers. Finished a very solid second there behind Mr. Baker. And I think that now with this drop in class, this is certainly a logical spot for this horse to be. Has some solid performances, just 3 for 20 in lifetime starts, but looking to see this horse coming out of Stakes Company.
Yeah, I mean, you got to use it on the ticket, but, I had some concerns about the big drop in competition, so I did flip-flop and put the number 4 on top of my ticket. Looks good. It won impressively at this level back on June 25th. Was second at this level again on August 18th, I believe it was. Returns after finishing second, but it was a 25 optional claimer. It's a gelded son of Circular Key, and I think being looks good. It looks good in this spot, so I just thought off that performance, I had, I got to use the 3 Master Blender, but I just thought maybe this horse in a good form dropping down might be able to beat that horse today.
Yeah, a little bit of a drop, and 2 back finished pretty well beaten second at this level, going 6 furlongs, so maybe a little bit continued with the stretch out at the 7, where it's actually 0 for 4 at the 7 furlong distance for Looks Good. I think it's one you have to use on there. I didn't know about the win today. I put on the number 1, Morgan's Harbor, who is, I think, taking a drop in class as well. Now second off a layoff, running at $25,000 optional claimers last time. I think it was a bit tougher. Looks Good was in that field, but as I said, now second off the layoff.
Yeah, second off the layoff. Jose Pinchin is the trainer for that horse, and I think these are the logical contenders. And the horse you have in fourth, I put in third, Big Boy Bruno, stretching out to this distance we've been talking about, 7/8, to rallying to finish second against the same caliber, going 3/4. Larry Pilati, Apprentice Lane Luzzy in the saddle this afternoon. Race number 3, we're on the turf. The turf course is listed as firm, 7 1/2 furlongs. These are claimers, 2-year-olds, $25,000. Clean slate in here, no scratches or jockey changes. We both have the number 3, Cosentino, on our ticket. We're going to go back, and this one had a little bit of trouble last time out, and I want to go back and show you this performance of Cosentino. And I'm going to pick it up, and you're going to see the number 3 horse here. Have to check sharply going into the turn. Yeah, you see it right there. And just thought never had a clean trip, but I like the way this horse rallied after that. Looked like that was at the critical point of his momentum move, and I like the fact that he came on and closed fourth, and I just thought this level of competition, Cosentino was the logical one in here.
And he was also off a bit slow as well, so I think maybe now he's getting his second career start. Maybe he can break a little bit sharper. I really like him in this spot as well. I used him on top as well as you, and I actually want to give a stat on trainer Larry Pilati. In the past 5 years, with maidens making their second career start, 13 for 53, 25% win, 43% of the time in the money, and a 268 ROI. Really strong stats there for maidens making their second start, and I think Cosentino looks like he's going to be able to do it today.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, and the stat just belies our selection in there. So both of us have that. Then we sort of differ a little bit. We got our next 2 flip-flop. You went with the number 5, Road to Happiness.
Well, Road to Happiness is looking to finally get maybe a clean trip. 2 back, finished 4th, and was bumped by the eventual winner that day. Lost any momentum. Ended up moving up to 3rd through disqualification. Last time out, there was a disqualification of the eventual winner as well. There was also a spill in that race, so this horse just didn't really have any chance to run at all. They added the blinkers last time for that race, now taking them off again here. But it's a very nicely bred horse. He's dropping in class as well. I think maybe just looking for that spot to get him a clean trip and hopefully give him a real shot to race.
And I think they're just searching by putting the blinkers on, taking the blinkers off, dropping them in class. They're just looking for that spot. No, logical to be on the ticket. And I went with the number 4, Leverkusen, I think, or Leverkusen. It's wheeling back after responding to a drop in competition. Turned back in distance by coming within the neck of exiting the maiden ranks at this level and distance. Ran pretty good last time.
Ran pretty well, and that was actually in that race that you just showed a little bit earlier, was in front of Cosentino. I think Cosentino got the worst of it that day, but this horse, Leverkusen, I think ran pretty solidly the first time in the claiming ranks. One you have to use on there.
Well, let's flip the page and go to race number 4 this afternoon, and this is one back on the fast main track at 1 mile. Claim is 3 and up, non-winners of 3 in life or 3-year-olds. One jockey change to let you know about here on the number 4, Jose Alvarez ride, and that weight will now be 118 pounds, so kill the apprentice allowance in that particular race. And both of us, I was wondering if you're going to put old Papa Pig on top. I wanted to, but I couldn't. It looks like we're in agreement with our top selection here, and that's the 4, Sugar Dandy.
Well, Papa Pig has a very consistent running style. He's got that late run, and I think that there certainly will be enough speed for him to run at today. But what I think is going to happen with the Sugar Dandy is that he's taking a big drop in class. He's going to go out to the front. Maybe there's going to be some speed running with him, but I don't know if he's going to be able to be caught. The last time he ran at a 62.50 level, it was in non-winners of 2, so this would be the next logical spot for him to be. But he won by 8 lengths that day. He ran against $10,000 optional claimers, was beaten only by 3/4 of a length, and a big step up in class there. Last time, I think he was in over his head against 16, and I think this is where he needs to be. It looks like he's going to get it done today.
Not only 16, he was behind Cheech Thunder.
Yeah.
Cheech Thunder, 6-time winner this year. He came back and won again. So off that competition, let's mention Sandra Silka. What a great job she's done at the summer meeting. She's always been over 30%, it seems like, for the whole summer long. With her limited amount of starters, she's run very well. The gelding gets Apprentice Alvaro Donis. That's Jose Alvarez. That's the change in there. Now, Papa Pig, you mentioned. This one does his best running, of course, in the latter stage of the race. He's hit the board in 11 of 19 races this year. And, you know, he doesn't miss many dances. He could jump up and defeat this level of competition if there's speed in there, like you mentioned, and I think Total Evil is one of those speeds.
Well, I think Totally Evil might actually stalk here a bit. I like that even with the claim, Edgar Zayas is going to stay aboard. He seems to really fit this horse nicely. I'm talking about the 3 Totally Evil. I think he's going to stalk Papa Pig. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it done today. I wouldn't be surprised to see him surging late, as we're pretty used to seeing him. If you remember my Pick 5 ticket, I used all 3 of those horses because you can't leave out Papa Pig.
You never can leave out Papa Pig. 11 for 19 this year, so that's our selections in race number 4. And let's go to the 5th race this afternoon, and this one is a 7.5 furlongs on the turf, allowance optional claimer. These are state-bred fillies and mares. The optional claiming level is 12,500. Scratch the main track only participant in here, number 9. I went with the 7 in here, First Illusion, so I'll kick it off. And this one is dropping to this 12.5 level against state-bred allowance optional claimers, turning back to 7.5. Set the pace, weakened to finish 6th, but was beaten only 1.5 lengths. That was in the mile in the 16th. $75,000 wasted tears. I think this is a spot where they read the conditions, fits perfectly against state-bred optional claimers.
Well, I think that she's one that you have to use. My biggest concern is that, yes, she's got quite a bit of early speed. She faded last time, but it was a pretty strong finish considering that she was in stakes company and considering the price that she was. You're not going to get such long odds on her today. She's definitely going to take a lot of money. I think that the number 6 Standard Deal is going to show some speed. She usually does. She was off and hesitated at the start last time. I think that she'll be up front a bit faster today than she normally is. The number 3 Sweet Miri has the ability to show some speed. So I landed on the number 5 Something Else because I think that she'll sit the trip. She stretched out to 2 turns last time out, finished a really good second at this competition. She was beaten only 1.25 lengths. She had a win prior to that going to 5 furlongs, but again, that was her first time going 2 turns last back. I think that she's one that is going to sit the trip.
Well, I went back and looked. I'm not going to show you today because we had a lot of videos we want to show, but First Illusion's last race, I thought this horse ran exceptionally well, and the reason I put it on top that day, I agree with you totally with the 5 Something Else who will slid the trip behind there. And then there's the 4 Tisbo, who's renewing the rivalry with Something Else after making what looked like, I thought she was going to make a winning move at the top of the lane, but she failed to reel in that repeat winner Tearless and passed in deep stretch by Something Else. But we had picked, or you had picked Tearless the other day and didn't run that well. Remember, we were watching that race. We both had used it on the ticket.
Right. Well, Tearless was taking a step up in class as well, trying to get multiple wins in a row. Wasn't able to do that. Tearless had certainly been in excellent form prior to that, so I guess you can't really go off of that, but at that level, Tearless was certainly doing well there. Tisboa, one that you have to use as well. Another one that might have the ability to carve out a nice stalking trip.
You know what I'm thinking?
What's that?
We'll take a break, and then we'll come back. We'll show you my Rainbow Six ticket. What do you think of that?
Sounds like a plan.
Next January, 12 horses, $1 million buy-in for a $12 million purse. It is the world's richest race. It is the Pegasus World Cup.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Welcome back to beautiful Gulfstream Park, along with the beautiful Acacia Courtney. It's Ron Nicoletti. I got to sit somewhere, and it might be next to her. So it's a lot of fun we have here.
Aw, thanks, Robbie.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun here all the time, as you know, and a lot of fun in trying to hit this Rainbow Six, which is getting up there. It's approaching $90,000. And once again, want to remind you, if it's not hit today or tomorrow, being Friday, Saturday, mandatory payouts and all our wages. Of course, we're shifting gears and heading over to Gulfstream Park West. With that said, I'll show you my ticket today. And I was in agreement with you. I thought the races were wide open today. Too deep, 4, 2. And in the last race, race 11, I don't know who's going to win that race. I'm trying my best there. I think I got the logical 4 in there, $51.20 for my ticket. I just think it's a wide open affair. We had a couple of, significant scratches in race 11, which we'll talk to when we get to that race. That was my ticket there. But I think we're both in agreement with the top pick here, with the 6 Randy Sr., I guess it is.
Yes, it looks that way. Randy Sr. 6-5 on the morning line. This one has had 2 starts so far. Got brushed at the start a little bit in his debut. That was against State Bred Maiden Special Weight Company. Came back last time out against $35,000 maidens, and I want to go back and show that race. It looked like he was going to be finishing pretty strongly. He was the number 6 that day. Jockey Eduardo Nunez actually lost his whip as they were coming towards the wire, so you can argue maybe that cost him the win there that day. I don't know if he was going to be able to beat the eventual winner, Western Journey. You see here, there, he's looking like he's going to be pretty strong, looking like he might be able to go back. That's where the whip dropped. He's now at a hand ride. Maybe if he had had a little bit more urging, but it looked like the 3-horse Western Journey was just very strong that day. That being said, I think it was a very strong performance from Randy Sr., and in this level of competition, this field, he looks like the one to beat.
Well, we're in total agreement in this race. That's the first time today. The other one we have in second is the 3 Bobby Blue Eyes, and you saw my Rainbow Six ticket. I agree with you with Randy Sr., but I wasn't totally convinced, so I added the 3 Bobby Blue Eyes, who's dropping to this 25 level, adding blinkers after tracking the pace in that race. He flattened out in that race one, finishing a distant 4th, but it was a $35,000 maiden event going 5.5. He's a gelded son of Gone Astray, and he's bred to respond favorably to this added distance today of 1 mile.
And it was also a wet track last time when he was well beaten to be 4th. It was a sealed track that day. Maybe he just didn't like the moisture like that, and you could maybe put a line through that. My friend was the winner. My friend coming back in a later race, and so be interesting to see how that horse runs. But I think with the addition of blinkers in here for Bobby Blue Eyes, he looks like he's going to be a little bit stronger positioned.
Well, the first-time starter in here, number 2 Local Legend, is a son of exclusive quality.
Yes, he is, and I know that this one, he's been working really strongly over at Gulfstream Park West as well. September 17th had a 3-furlong work in 35-4. That's exceptional over there.
I want to show you a little stat on this horse here. Trainer Juan A. Rodriguez over the last 5-year-olds with 2-year-old first-time starters on the dirt. Not as high as I thought it was going to be. 4 for 31, only 13%. 39% in the money, but a solid ROI of $2.64. I really respect these connections. They do a good job with first-time starters and prep runners, so I think this horse can certainly be on the ticket somewhere. I only went too deep on my Rainbow Six ticket, and we'll see how that plays out. But if you have the ability to get a single somewhere down the line, maybe add a horse like this first-time starter in race number 6. With that said, we'll go to race number 7, and this one's is 5 furlongs on the turf. Claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life. Scratch the number 3, Mi Tia Cristina. Mi Tia Cristina is scratched. That's the number 3. I like saying that.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
You got that accent. You're working it.
Oh, wait. And let's go and see your late pick 5 ticket.
Late pick 5 starts right here. Races 7 through 11. I didn't find a single either. $48 for me. I went a couple 4 deep and 3 deep in 9 and 11, the races that you went deeper as well. I don't know if we used exactly the same horses when we'll get to there, but 2 deep using the 5 and the 6 in this opening leg of the late pick 5.
Well, it started off with the 5 Dancing Wind, who moved to the Angel Rodriguez barn after the claim is turning back to 5 furlongs today, returned from the layoff to finish, rally 5 wide in that race.
Yeah, I want to go back and show that race. This was on September 18th, and again, this was the first race before being claimed. The winner wired the field that day. I think Dancing Wind was the number 9. She just was left with too much to do. She had to go 5 or 6 wide. She was almost out in the center of the track. It looks like she moves on the turn. Actually, even at the start of the race, she was out of the shot. She was really far back. You see there now she's starting to move a bit, and now the field is turning for home. She's way out there wide. Now she drifts a little bit. She's out from the shot. You think, oh, she's done. She's not going to catch the winner that day, Daddy's Pride, who again wired the field. Here she comes back again. She's moving strongly. She just continues on. She managed to finish third, beating about 2 lengths, but she had to go wide. She had so much to do. I think she gets a cleaner trip today.
Yeah, she's a daughter of First Samurai. She broke a maiden at this distance back on April 1st, so there is reason to believe she'll run well at the 5 furlong distance. Now, with the number 8 horse, Hiram's Mistress, is certainly hoping for a clean trip after breaking from the outside. I want to go back and show you this horse's performance. You're going to see this horse turning for home, and you'll see this horse here that day is the number 10, and it's really hard to see what happens here, but the horse gets shuffled back to last here, and then we're going to show you this one re-rallies through the traffic and finishes third. And you're going to see this horse just weaving through the traffic. I thought it run exceptionally well. I think he got sort of like knocked off his stride there a little on. He just comes through horses, and I think this horse runs very well this afternoon. I should say and ends up finishing a good third. And I think with a little bit of a clean trip on the turn, maybe this one wins that last race.
Well, she's had a couple of tough trips. She hasn't always had the easiest sailing through towards the finish line. She did break her maiden at the 5 furlongs. She's only 1 for 9 in starts, but as I mentioned, she hasn't always had the easiest of trips. Last time out, of course, being included. She finished a good third that day. She was third prior to that. So I think that it'll be interesting if she's able to get a clean trip today. She's not the most consistent runner, but certainly one you have to use on the ticket.
Well, you did use the number 6 Starship Carnegie, a horse I did not put on my ticket, and please tell me why.
Well, this one has been the favorite in her last 3. She broke her maiden last time out. I thought she was really game. She had a couple of seconds and thirds in the money finishes prior to that. I didn't put her on top. I don't think that she's going to be able to come back and win her first start against winners, but I think she's consistent enough to finish in the money again.
Yeah, I mean, it's a horse that, and the reason I didn't use this horse is that exact reason. I just don't see this horse coming back. It's hard to win after breaking maiden, having all those chances to come back. If it jumps up and beat me, so be it. But I did like a horse in here that's the one horse in here, and that's Great South Bay, and I'll tell you why. Going to wear blinkers after following her 12-5 maiden victory. Runs 5 wide. That race we just showed you, this one was wide. Came in 5th behind Hiram's Mistress last time out. The barn, the limited sampling, 1 for 5 with first-time blinkers. And this is a horse that I put on the ticket, maybe not to win it, but to certainly be on the rolling Super Hot 5 or the trifecta ticket.
That was kind of my opinion with the 2 Sweet Cookie. I just think that she's going to stalk closely behind any speed that there is in there today, and I think that she, with the trip, might be able to hold on for a piece.
Well, let's go to race number 8 this afternoon. 5 1/2 furlongs. These are maiden claiming filly 2-year-olds, $25,000. We do have a jockey change and a scratch. The jockey change comes on the 1, make the rider Louis Castillo, and scratch the number 8 Holter's Girl. I don't know about you, that was my top pick, and I moved up to the 7 Lally.
Well, I ended up putting the number 6, Susie Street, on top, who just got caught at the wire last time out, beaten just by a nose when moving back over to the dirt. Edgar Zayas climbs aboard today. I think that the 7 Lolly is one you have to use, but she's one that just in her 3 starts, she hasn't really been able to really get it just yet.
I think she's moving in the right direction with since the addition of blinkers, and that's why I put her on top of my ticket or moved her up to the top of my ticket. And I like the fact that she's cutting back to 5 1/2 furlongs. I just see a progression now that looks like the blinkers have helped her, so I put her on top. Susie Street, for all the reasons you mentioned, dropping 10,000 on the maiden scale, responded to the surface switch, just got beat that nostril last time out. Reed Nagel, Edgar Zayas in the saddle.
Yeah, lots to like about her. And then we use the number 9, That's a Myth, a first-time starter from the barn of John Vincent with Tyler Gaffleone aboard. Pretty solid on the work tab. There's a couple works in there that looks like this filly has some ability in there. Not enamored with it, but I think that she's one, and then respect for connections in the presence of Tyler.
Yeah, and it's a good spot to make her debut. So you see how she runs in there. That she's not totally overmatched. There's no world beater in this spot. So working well up at Palm Meadows, our training facility. So the scratch of the morning line favorite in there, number 8, Holter's Girl. Race number 9 this afternoon is a 1-mile turf maiden special weight for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. And as we do all the time here at beautiful Gulfstream Park, we got a full field of 10 runners to try and figure out. You went with the number 8 horse in here, who I did not use anywhere, and I want to hear why.
Well, I'm actually surprised. I thought you might have this horse on there somewhere. I really liked the one Sunshine Melody. She's 8-1 on the morning line. I don't think you're going to get that in real-time odds. That being said, I went with a horse who's a little bit more tested. I normally don't like horses that have been beaten so many times, but went back and watched the way that Midnight and Giada ran last time out. This is a $200,000 daughter of Midnight Loot, Patrick Biancone, the trainer. She's had a couple of starts over here at Gulfstream Park. She's cutting back slightly as well to the mile in distance. She ran in special weight company last time out. She had to be steadied. I think that you can give her a break for that performance. I like to see Lane Leslie in the saddle today, and I think that she might be able to carve out a trip in here, and I liked the way that she ran. I think that she's on the improve. Maybe she's just a bit of a slower learner.
Yeah, it's slower learner. I just thought maybe she was a little pace dependent and did not use her on the ticket. But let me go back and show you the horse that I put on. You mentioned is 8-1. Now there's a lot of guesswork here because this horse has only made one previous start, and we want to go back and show you that start. It was on Independence Day. This was Sunshine Melody was the #1 that day. Will be the #1 again today, and just loses all chance there. What I like about this horse, it's a beautifully bred daughter of Unbridled Song, making her first start. Since then, she lost all chance. She ducked in sharply at the start. But I'm really like the connections. Trainer Ralph Nix has her training forwardly. Nick Juarez in town now. Looks like he's here for the winter. Certainly here for the next few days. We've got to talk to Nick, see how long he's going to be down here. I think he's here. He did a fantastic job at the last year's championship meeting. He rode very, very well. So good to see Nick back. And I just think this horse, breeding #1. Legitimate excuse last time out. Maybe we get a bit of a price here.
Yeah, Midnight and Giada, the horse that I used, was actually second in that race, and I thought ran solidly in there as well. Very awkward start for Sunshine Melody. I think you kind of treat her as you put a line through that race and see if she's going to be able to improve in here. I like her a lot. She has to deal with the rail, but I like that she's run at the mile, too, that she debuted at that distance. There's certainly a lot to like about these two in here. I used the #6, Freedom March, as well, who seems to be stuck finishing in the money, beaten by 3/4 of a length last time out to finish third, and beaten by 3/4 of a length at 2 back to finish second.
Well, Marty Wilson, the trainer, hopes that Edgar Zayas can improve that chalk-burning status. #9, Ace of Hearts, is stretching out around 2 turns again after showing some late interest in a pair of 5-furlong turf sprints. Want to go back and show you a stat on Ronnie Werner over the last 5 years with horses stretching out from a sprint to a route on the turf. 5 for 38, 13%, 34% in the money, $1.02 ROI. Yikes. I thought it would be better than that. It's okay, but he does an excellent job. Ronnie Werner having a fantastic summer meeting. So just one of those stats. We wanted to put it out there. You take it for what it's worth, and maybe you use them or you don't use them.
The percentages are pretty strong, and I think that this one's stretching out to the mile on the turf here. Last couple of starts were 5 furlongs. If you look back, the two-turn races that she's had on the turf have been okay. They've been average. I think that she's one that might be able to hit the board.
Well, the 10th race, the first half of the late daily double with an 11-race card, is a 6-furlong starter optional claimer, fillies and mares 3 and up, or the optional claiming price of $10,000. 8 in this field. Looks like Flash Jack might be the one to beat. Changing barns today, going to the Fernando Abreu barn.
And this one dropping a bit in class as well. Ran last time against $16,000 optional claimers. Ran at this level 2 back at the 7 furlongs. Was beaten just by half a length as the odds-on favorite. I think a pretty solid runner. Like the trainer change, and like the way that this horse has been working as well. 3 furlongs and 36 flat on September 24th. Hasn't raced since August 14th, so coming in pretty fresh today.
Yeah, and I just think that's the logical choice in there. Now, you went with the one Tormento de Oro in second in here, and 9-2 on the morning line, third choice. I didn't go with this horse. I just thought the last performance had me a little shaky to use this one on the ticket, turning back today to 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't the most impressive performance, but did have a good performance prior to that. What I do like about this horse is a couple of things. The presence of Edgar Zayas in here, the ability that this horse has to either show some speed from the rail or to rate a little bit behind any speed in here. It looks like the 4 Skippy is back, has some speed, as does the 7 Pure Bliss. Pure Bliss is also trained by Patrick Marcondes, who trains the 1 Tormento de Oro. Oro now, first off the claim. I don't think that they're both going to go out there towards the front. So I imagine Tormenta de Oro might rate just a little bit and maybe get a good trip.
Well, I don't know about that, because if you look at the bullet work on September 11th, he went 5 furlongs in 59-2. So it looks like they threw some speed into this horse. So we'll see how that works out, plays out. But Edgar Zayas in the saddle. If anybody who's going to judge the right place to put this horse, it's Edgar Zayas. You mentioned Skippy is back, a winner at this level of distance, 2 starts back, drops a 2-race win streak when finishing third. That was against 12-5 State Bred optional claimers, and I threw in the 8 Venom Girl, turning back to 3/4 after setting the pace. Weakening Leonel Reyes will be in the saddle. I think we have the logical choice in there with the 2 Flash Jack. 7-2 is actually second choice in the morning line. I think this is a pretty wide open affair, this 10th race.
It is. This is a tough one, and I guess it'll be Flash Jack on top and seeing who finishes in a run for second.
Now, this 11th and final race this afternoon, this is a 7.5 furlong turf event, maiden claimers, fillies, 2-year-olds, $25,000. So I put my selections in the other day. On top, I had the number 6, Clouded Appeal, scratched. Then I had in second, number 9, Hello Moon, scratched. So I had to go back to the drawing board, and I have a horse that's actually 15-1 on the morning line on top of my ticket. I'll tell you why I think this horse really moves forward with the 2 scratches there. I'm talking about the 8, What's Your Dream, hoping to save something a little more for the stretch run after getting and relinquishing the lead when flattening out and finishing 4th at this level and distance. I think this horse with the scratch and 2 logical tenders, at least my estimation, has a big shot today.
Well, I don't think you're going to get that 15-1 price on her at all, especially not with the scratches in here. Sneakily, I think that she ran much better than it may appear on paper last time out. Arcelor, Wesley Ward trainee, was the one that set the pace in that race, just really far ahead of the rest of the field. What's Your Dream was behind her. She was keeping company with that kind of speedy front-end horse. She has the ability to show some speed. That certainly might work out well for her in here if she can kind of have things her own way on the front end. I use the number 5, Taking It Easy, on top. This one's a first-time starter, and I had kind of really liked this horse even before the scratch. Has been really interested. The Damn Rockin' On won it twice at 2. Sire's about 15% with 2-year-olds on the turf, and this one's from the barn of David Fox, who with 2-year-old first-time starters on the turf is about 24% in the win column. So we'll see if Taking It Easy and Eddie Castro can get it done the first time.
I got that one on my ticket too, and he did have it on my ticket. That was my actual third choice behind the top 2 that scratch. Now, number 1, Lexi Dahl, has a claimant tag sliced in half. She went up dual for the lead and faded. That was a $50,000 maiden race going a mile, turning back to 7.5, dropping down. Still lots of questions with this one.
Lots of questions indeed. And this one dropping down a level. The last 2 starts, it really looks like she was overmatched against $50,000 maidens. This just might be a better location for her.
And you saw our Rainbow 6 ticket and your late pick 5 ticket. I thought the 11th race with those significant scratches was a wide open affair, and makes it a great handicapping challenge when you're putting those tickets together in there. And we'll see how this race plays out. We got a fast main track, firm turf course. What else you need to tell them about?
I think that's it. Don't forget, we're building up that Rainbow 6 Saturday mandatory payout in Florida Sire Stakes, our last week here at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah, first race post 12 p.m.
What do I love about horse racing? Everything.